Welcome back. In this session, we will look at the point CV17, which is a heart point. It's a heart softening, a heart soothing, a heart opening point, one really to help us tend to that emotional center, the center of the heart. Now I'm going to suggest that there are two oils that you can work with, one being Helichrysum, another being Rose essential oil. Now, you could work with many different essential oils on this space. Any florals work really well on this space. But these two oils do have a real affinity with the point, and they are beautiful selections. And really, as I'm talking about the two different oils, you'll probably lean into a sense of which one you want to work with today. And maybe moving forwards, you might want to work with one, say, for a week, every day for a week on that point. So really just allow yourself to self-select, to intuit which oil feels like it's going to really serve your body and your heart and your whole system. So the point, first of all, is at the center of the chest. I'll just demonstrate and show you on my body. I travel my finger down the midline and around about the center of the breastbone is where the point is. Slightly above, it's not like right in the center of the breastbone, but maybe just slightly above for me. And what you'll feel is, if you can just get sensitive as you travel the finger down that central line, you'll feel a softening, a space where there's a little bit of tenderness even, or maybe a sense of sensitivity, of vulnerability and openness. So just let yourself kind of explore and find that point, maybe first of all without the oil on your finger, or with the finger that doesn't have any oil on it first, and then you can replace and put the finger that has the oil on it afterwards. It's a really sweet place to work with, and it's just an offering and opening, a chance for us to become sensitive and to become tuned into this area, this energy of love and heart opening and heart softening and heart soothing. It really is, this application is a way of tending to our own needs. So the two oils that I would suggest are Helichrysum or Rose essential oil. I'm working with the touch version, so these are pre-diluted. If you're working with the pure versions, I would suggest that you dilute them with your favorite carrier oil, simply because they're very precious. They're very highly prized oils, and there's no reason not to dilute these oils. There's very little skin sensitivity with these oils. They're very kind to the oils, to the skin, these oils, but dilute just because these oils are super precious, and also that will reduce any kind of sensitivity that may occur. Just erring on the side of caution, and also just to help the oil absorb into the skin a little better. That's what that's the function of the carrier oil. So Helichrysum essential oil, while you're listening, just tune into which oil feels like the one for you today. So Helichrysum essential oil is an oil that is very supportive for any kind of wounding, whether that be physical wounding, bumps, cuts, bruises, or whether that be emotional wounding, a place where we have been hurt, a place where we have lost ourselves, a place where maybe a part of us has been scattered and abandoned even. And also, taking that one step further, Helichrysum is also helpful for trauma, for supporting and healing trauma. Very powerful for shock. If you have been in a place of shock, if an event has happened or a situation has occurred and you have, reverberated into that place of shock, Helichrysum is your number one essential oil to go to. I know on homeopathic side of things, we would go to arnica. Helichrysum, the studies show, is as effective, if not more effective, than arnica in working with shock. Let me speak a little bit more about that. So through the lens of Chinese five elements theory, the thinking is that when we experience a shock, part of us kind of reverberates out and almost leaves the body. The Shen, or the spirit, as it's spoken about within this system of Chinese five element medicine, leaves the body. And what we want to do is tend to the heart, to call that spirit, to call that Shen back home, so that we can be back and present and in our bodies. maybe you can recall from a time when you've had a shock how discombobulating that can be, and how it's almost, you know, you're almost kind of not, you're there and you're not there, and it can be a very strange experience. So calling yourself back, having this sweet, tender way of calling yourself back home to yourself, using the point and the oil Helichrysum is very, very helpful to have in your toolkit of self-care. The other oil that you can work with is rose essential oil. Now, rose has a great affinity with the heart, a beautiful oil to work with, a beautiful essential oil for tending to the heart, for dropping us into a space of connection, of love, of even euphoria. It's one of the euphorics, rose essential oil. It also has a vibration or an energy of oneness, of bringing everything to a sense of completion, a sense of wholeness, a sense of being together, being at one with yourself, being whole, being complete. There's nothing else I need to add in to make me, to make me more complete. I am already perfect and complete, and could not be anything other than that. It's only my forgetfulness and life and all of the things that happen to us that take me out of that vibration of oneness and completeness. So rose is one to, again, call everything back home, but there's a femininity, a floral femininity that brings you into a more, it's kind of a sweeter experience. Not in a better or a worse, but it's just a different, more full of sweetness, the experience of using essential oil, rose essential oil on CV17. So I hope that guides you some way into which oil you want to work with. You'll probably one will just be like vibrating or ringing for you, like, oh yeah, I definitely want to work with Helichrysum, or I definitely want to work with rose. And start to trust those little vibrations, those little resonances. When you look at an oil, when somebody talks about an oil, when you smell an oil, your body knows. Your body knows what you need. Your body knows what you want to work with. Your heart knows what is needed and what you want to work with. So lean in, choose the oil that's right for you. For me, it's rose today. So I'm going to we'll work together and just take the application on to the points. I'm applying just a little bit onto my index finger. I'm tracing down with my middle finger, the finger that has no oil, to the center point. I'm just going to breathe it in first. It's so divine. And then I'm going to take it down to that CV17 point, which is just there at the center of the chest, the center of the heart. And if you're doing this placement with me, you may like to also, with a sacred pause, an opportunity of restoration and rest, close down the eyes and just take a moment to be with the oil, with the point, and with your heart. And as we've experienced in working with the oils on the points, there's no efforting. It's what's so joyful about this process and this application. We don't have to try to do anything. We don't need to make anything happen. We're not pressing, we're not working the point. We're simply offering a connection, oil to point, point to ourself, oil to ourself, experience. It's almost like we're wrapping ourselves up in an experience and allowing it to be whatever it needs to be. Allowing it to be a process, to be an unraveling and understanding and attending to. We are tending to ourselves here in a beautiful encapsulated act of self-care. So please feel free to hold the point as long as you need. Sometimes this point requires longer holding. Sometimes there's real softening that is wanting to be happening here. So do take as much time as you need here with this point, and know that this is a application that you could do daily. If you feel you've been through a period of shock, Helichrysum daily for 7 days will be, or longer, will be very, very of great service to your body, your spirit, and your heart, and your mind. If you feel more in need of softening, more need to want to be in touch with your feminine side, more overflowing qualities of love, then use rose essential oil. And again, play with using that for 7 days, and just notice the subtle shifts that you start to experience. As you release the point, you might like to just take a little bit underneath your nose so that you can have the aroma and that benefit of the oil as well. This point can also be one that is done in combination with any of the other points, or a little mini sequence that you might choose to create. So for example, you could do 2 or 3 of the other points that we've looked at, and then finish with a point, either Helichrysum or Rose on CV17, almost to kind of complete the process, the little mini therapeutic process that you've engaged in with your oils. I hope this has been of great service to you. I have loved doing this lesson today, and I will see you very soon.